Okay, we might do that one.
Rojas. Mr. Rojas. Hello. Oh.
I love the comment.
Not only are they not superior, they're also all.
Oh. T.
Yes.
That's kind of, I take
Insane?
offense to that as...
Yeah. You would actually dating a 19-year-old.
What?
What?
Where did you hear this?
You said it on the previous podcast.
I never... You've put a lot of words in
But
my
I
mouth.
didn't.
I've never disclosed anything related to my
it's
dating.
going viral
19
on,
wouldn't count as either.
No.
Yeah, well, and by the way, can you actually make a moral argument against that? Because you brought it up multiple times. Why don't you actually make a moral argument for why that would be wrong, even if he did? Even assuming he did, make a single moral argument for how that would be wrong or immoral.
How that would make him a...
No, it would not. How?
That's what I'm saying.
It can be wrong without making him a...
Can we avoid that word, please?
Okay, but how is it immoral?
being a 34-year-old man dating an 18-year-old?
Yeah, don't restate the question. Just
19,
answer the question.
18,
How
19.
is it
21.
immoral, even if he did do that?
Immoral, I think it's just too vague, too nuanced. No.
You
I
don't know
can't
what
say
moral
immoral
means?
is. I do know what moral means, but I
Good,
think
then
that
how
there's
would
so
it
much
be
vague-
immoral?
You clearly had a position against it. You've brought it up multiple times.
Yeah, I
multiple
think-
times.
I
Just
think-
defend your
Give us a
position.
moral
Well,
argument
I'm
against
defending it.
Give us an
I think
actual
it's
argument.
weird, but I think you're going all this like black and white.
cares who wants to
For
date?
me personally, I think
wait,
that's very strange.
morality is black or white. It's either moral or it's not moral. It's not in between. There's no
But
nuance
it's not.
with
You know
morality.
exactly morality is completely subjective.
Would you object
No,
to?
well, wait, hang on, back up. If morality
That's
is
true.
completely subjective, then all you would be stating here is a subjective opinion as to whether or not it was immoral what Brian did anyway, right?
A
Yeah,
lot
no.
of the opinions stated tonight are subjective. That's like what an opinion is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
That's
which is why I
literally-
asked for a moral argument, and she says morality is subjective.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if morality is subjective, then you couldn't actually say that even if Brian was dating a 19-year-old, that would be objectively immoral, correct?
There's no such thing as anything being objective when it comes to
But
morality.
you clearly have
Well,
opinions about these
I
things.
disagree, but whether or not that's true,
He's
you would
basically
still
just
say
asking
that there's
your
nothing
opinion on what
objectively
you said
immoral
about
about that, right?
Yeah, we can go back to that. We're just like harping on it, but yeah, I think it's weird.
Okay, great. Now let's move into the subjective portion. What, even from your position of subjective morality, would make it immoral for him to date a 19-year-old?
There's nothing that I can imagine as a man that you would look at as an 18-year-old at your age with the experience that you've had that would make that not be strange.
Oh,
When I-
really? So you don't think that a man who was looking for fertility in a woman, would he go for a younger woman or an older
God.
woman?
See, that's when I'm all like, you guys are all so gross.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
You believe in evolution, do you not?
Here we go.
Should I talk about
This girl's insane. Okay.
This is what I'm
Wait,
saying.
no, answer
She's
the
God,
question. Do you
guys.
believe in
She created
evolution?
Wait, what?
She's God, so she created evolution.
Go
so
ahead.
she doesn't-
Go ahead with your point.
If you believed in evolution, then you would say that there would be an evolutionary mechanism inside of men where they would go for women who are more fertile, because the more fertile women would, of course, create more offspring.
Can I talk?
So why is it that if a 40-year-old man went even for a 19-year-old girl, that wouldn't make sense from an evolutionary standpoint? From your subjective morality, what could possibly be wrong with that?
That's fucking disgusting.
Two things.
Yeah, just don't give me the.
I will give you the
argument.
Hold on.
you guys
Wait.
might love
Hold on. Athena has something to say. Go ahead, Athena.
You know what else is evolutionary? Rape.
What?
Every other
What?
species does it.
Can you just say
That is
essay or
true.
Sorry,
something?
my bad. I'm sorry.
What,
Essay.
what, you said two things.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the first thing.
What?
SA, like before we had society, how did we reproduce?
What?
We still utilize what's called sexual intercourse. Isn't that amazing?
Animals do it. Like there
Yeah,
was. It
animals
wasn't all,
also have sexual intercourse. Isn't that crazy?
What?
We also used to kill each other all the time. There's
We
a
still
bunch
do
of
that.
immoral.
still do.
Wait,
immoral.
we still do that.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
still
not
immoral, but I'm just
still
saying-
bad, right?
I'm just saying, just
Subjective.
because
Well,
it
it's only
happened.
You can't even
subjectively
describe
immoral,
what is
though.
bad. He's just
I
asking.
just
Yeah.
said subjectively.
Can I get
it's
through my
bad.
point? I'm
Go
just
ahead,
saying
get
the
to your
things,
point.
the
Make
things
it.
that in the past that were pre-societal that now we still do. Just because we did it 1,000 years ago does not make it moral. And two,
Perfect. So if that's true, and it's not moral, then give me the moral argument against it outside of you just don't prefer it.
I was going to do that next, and then you...
Yeah, then do it.
Okay. So if a 34-year-old is dating an 18-year-old, that 18-year-old like doesn't have any maturity, doesn't know anything, has no
Life
frame
experience.
of reference around the world. They're not in a good place in their life. They probably aren't successful or as successful as they would be later. The dating pool is objectively way less far in their career. So you just, in every way other than sexual preference, there's nothing about an 18-year-old that is attractive other than sexual preference. So
No.
for...
Can you give me the argument for how that's immoral yet? Are you ever going to get to
So when
that?
should we let them choose?
Could I keep talking?
Erroneous.
Could I keep talking?
Well, are you ever going to get to the actual point?
If you
How
don't-
is it immoral? Give
you
me
stop
that
interrupting
answer,
me, I
please.
could.
Don't restate all the conditions which it exists under. Tell me the argument for how it's immoral,
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
please.
So for a man to be dating someone with only sexual preference in mind, and for a woman to not know that and be dating them and like their personality and want to be around them, it's kind of weird for a man to be okay with this person having this like emotional connection to them. Well, I'm not saying it's disgusting. I'm not saying.
When
it's
are you
like-
going to get to the part where it's immoral ever?
You could, okay. You
But why
disagree,
are
that's
you
okay.
assuming that that's the case, that an older guy
Well, hang
just
on,
wants...
Brian. Just
Oh,
real quick.
Yeah,
Older
yeah.
woman-
Can you
too.
give me an actual argument for the immorality or not? You just keep restating the
5 more
conditions.
minutes?
I don't care about the conditions. Why is it immoral?
To me, that's immoral. If it's not to you, then we have a different moral compass, which is
Okay,
fine.
so to you it's immoral. So it's immoral because it's immoral because it's immoral. Can you give me the actual argument for why it's immoral? Or are you just going to keep restating the conditions and your preferences? Give me the argument for why it's immoral.
Andrew, when you have a moment, when we're done with this, I do have a question directly to you. But I'll
Thank you
wait.
for
Yeah, okay,
interrupting
you
the
can
Sorry.
answer my
conversation.
question.
Sorry.
Or are you just going to say that you don't have an argument for why it's immoral?
Just take the L,
I
bro.
explained my argument. We can disagree.
There was no argument. You never made an argument. All you did was give me a sequence of conditions in which it could happen. Okay, fine. I
could say
concede all
that-
those conditions. How is it immoral? Give me the
You
argument,
could say that about
please.
any argument. That's a fake argument because you could really say
What?
that about anything that's been said. Oh, you just gave me conditions. Give me an argument. Give me an argument. Give me an
Yeah,
argument.
I can give you an
can say
argument
that to
for
anyone
why
just to
something
be
is
like, I
immoral,
don't think
why
your point
it's
is
moral.
invalid.
Ask
you
me
can
a
say
moral
it's
question,
invalid.
I'll give you an argument. Can
By
you
the
give
way,
me
by the way,
argument?
this is coming from a girl who at 18 willingly dated a 30-year-old billionaire. I don't object to you dating a 30-year-old,
And look back
but it's
at it.
incredibly convenient for you to say that, oh, it's wrong for an older guy to date a younger woman. Bear in
Wrong
mind,
for a woman, an older woman to date a younger man too. That should be mentioned.
I don't
Yeah,
think
okay,
either is
just
wrong.
last question.
I don't
Just
think
last question,
either
real
is
quick.
wrong. Go ahead, Andrew.
Without stating a preference or conditions that you just like don't without restating the conditions, can you actually give me an argument? And the contrary to this is you can ask me a moral question and I will give you an argument from the perception of my morality for why something is wrong or right. Can you actually tell me why this is immoral outside of stating the conditions? I don't care about the conditions. Why is it immoral?
Because if you're letting someone think you love them and you don't love them,
What? But that's another condition you're adding on top of it. Like, what if a 30-year-old guy,
if they had the same maturity level, it'd be fine. Sometimes it's okay.
maturity level?
Yeah, sometimes it's okay. I'm not saying every
Hold on,
single.
but is it the
don't
case?
Generalize.
Do you think that men and boys your age are immature?
Yeah. Sometimes that's a generalization
Checkmate.
too.
Checkmate. You've
Can I-
just lost
can
the
I-
argument.
can I ask
You've
a
just lost the
question?
argument
Just a preference.
because if it's the case that you view men that are your age as immature, by default, then you must pair up with and partner with men who are older than you because you view them as more mature.
I think that I'm immature. Equally.
I agree.
Do you think you're more?
But there's a-
But do you
I'm not
think you're
generalizing.
more mature?
You can't generalize that shit.
Do you think
there's
you're-
such a disparity with ages?
But it's a common trope I hear from women that men my age, they're so immature, blah blah blah. Like it takes two to tango.
There's just an opportunity, a higher opportunity to be
women
manipulated.
also tend to date and find men
For lots of
who are
reasons.
older, whether it's even 1 or 2 or 3 years, more attractive.
It just
They're
saves the
different.
opportunity for
Can
it to
I
be
can I
guys.
can I just ask a question?
But it's no. It's literally hypocritical because it's okay for you to date a guy who's 30 when you're 18 because he's a billionaire.
Don't you think it's something attractive about a guy having his shit together?
Yeah.
Like just a guy like, oh my gosh, this guy's got a whole home,
Yes.
or it's clean, or he actually is like he replies right away without being drunk at some frat party.
But
like there
also-
are advantages to dating an older man that you might find attractive, maybe you don't. So you'd have like a reason. There's a multiple variants of
but
why you might like
also-
an older man, and there's multiple variants of why a man might like a younger woman. Also, if you're gonna say that he's wrong for doing a thing, you should be able to tell him why it's wrong.
You've been wanting to say something.
Into the mic, please.
Sorry, I'm not necessarily going to stand with her side, but I understand where she's saying it's immoral. It's immoral technically because if there is an intention with advantage, the advantage would be I'm sleeping with a younger girl. I can convince her and pursue her
She's
to
malleable.
have sex with me, possibly be her first partner, if not one of very few.
Because she thinks that you're cooler.
And because I can convince her that I am better than, or I can teach her things, quote unquote, which a lot of men do say.
Mold
for
and sculpt.
all these things. That's what she's
Yes,
most
because
likely
we don't
Well,
want to
then
date
your
a woman
argument
like
here
you
is-
who's combative and argumentative and hyper masculine. You're super set in your ways. Yes,
have
of
to
course,
ask you this,
we do
though.
want to date pleasant women.
Yeah,
Heaven forbid
yeah.
a man wants to date a pleasant woman who hasn't had a shit ton of
Can I
trauma
ask
and
one
who has a
question?
shit ton of baggage
ask one
from
question?
previous relationships.
also
Yes,
that's
one
fine.
question.
Yes, let him
One
finish.
question to you, to both of you and Andrew. Let me ask you this, and to anybody who's watching. I'm genuinely so curious. I'm going to present you a situation. If there's a situation where there is a gorgeous, beautiful, kind, sweet, innocent virgin, she's 15 years old. No. Let me ask. She's 15
No.
years old. Oh,
I'm not going to even entertain that bullshit question.
Why?
Because we are talking about.
Why is it guided by
What?
law?
So crazy.
Why is it guided by
What?
law?
Why? What's wrong?
Why would
What's
you-
wrong with
because we were
15? You
talking
can do
about
18. You can do
19-year-olds.
17.
We're talking
It's
about
wrong because
adult
it's a minor
relationships.
adult.
Oh,
It's
so what's
wrong
We're
adult
talking
now?
about
So
women.
18 is it? So
Yes,
18
that's
what the
is-
law
Yes.
has to say. If
That's
we're
what the
18.
law says. But I'm
Right.
just saying. But don't you want fertile, peak fertility?
What?
What?
I
That's
like
what
women
you
who
guys
are.
keep
No.
saying.
Shut up.
No,
I like.
you
No.
shut up.
Shut up.
You
Hold on.
will
Let
fuck.
me.
You just admit you would a 15-year-old. And you
What
would.
the
Hold on.
fuck?
That's crazy.
That's a low
If you could
blow.
get
I
away
like-
with it, if you could get
No.
away with
No,
it,
we
you
wouldn't.
No.
The vast
Hold on.
majority of men
Hold
You're
on.
insane.
First off, I like blonde women. That doesn't mean I would date a blonde that's 12. What the fuck?
I said 15.
So just because of no. Okay, first off,
Yeah, so here, let's
Hold on,
respond
wait,
to the
wait.
argument.
Jesus
Let me just
Christ.
respond to the argument directly, okay? So the argument is, could there be some men who have that preference, or is your argument that we have that
Well, I
preference?
wasn't even able to finish the
first
question,
one.
but
I think she
But
means
if
the
there
first
was,
one.
but if you were able to be presented with this opportunity where there
No.
was zero
Here.
legal consequence
No.
and
Yeah, I
nobody
wouldn't
would
do it.
ever know.
I would say
Yeah, I wouldn't do
no.
it because I
No.
believe in
In a
objective
million
morality.
years,
That
no.
would
That's a
objectively
literal
be
child.
So what is
Yeah, that's
so
a
objective
child.
morality is 18
what?
is
What happens
No,
the
that's
day
just
that they
what the-
turn 18?
Such a bad faith.
If you're
like,
17,
fucking
it's
question.
disgusting. If you're
Well, hang on,
freshly
but this
18, it's not
question would be
disgusting.
turned right back against
what
you. You're
changes
saying
in
the
your
age
brain?
of consent is arbitrary?
I don't know, is it?
Well, I'm
So would
asking
you
you.
fuck a
You're making the
15-year-old?
point that like men that do really terrible things make. When you say the things like, "Well, what's so magic about my brain that it changes when it turns 18?" The law
lot.
has determined that 18 is the thing.
Because the
And if
law's
some-
always correct.
What-
No, it's your
you're-
brain.
My point is,
Well, from
in
your
other
subjective
countries,
metric, what else do you have? What else do you have?
Other countries,
You don't
the
have
norm is
anything.
with
And
the
I
law.
said if
Subjective
law
metric.
did not exist, if law did not exist.
So would you a 15-year-old if the
Yeah,
law didn't
so if
exist?
we're talking about the
me,
law,
no.
or
Why?
absent the law, I still
that's
believe in
gross.
the standard for objective morality.
yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and I'm hoping men would
Rojas,
say the same.
speak.
No, I'm just, they're thinking about like, okay, a 19-year-old dating a 34-year-old.
We're talking about adult relationships,
relationships.
adult women.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like a younger girl because they obviously
What's-
haven't been, ran through or like.
More
There's plenty
physically
of.
attractive?
They're more physically attractive, more emotionally available, more romantic, more energy, optimistic about the future.
Naivete
more
is also kind
fertile,
of sweet.
less
in a lot of
baggage and
situations.
trauma.
Yeah, easy, right?
Do you guys mind real quick
No.
if I get into this with her real quick? Because it'll only take a couple of minutes.
Wait, let me.
Okay.
Before you do, there's like one other video that I want to switch to really quick, just to get it out of the way, and then we'll hammer in on this. Here, let's just play that really quick.
Instead of sameness, it's fairness.
Is the audio?
It is so immensely
Pearl.
frustrating as a woman to still find it difficult to answer such a simple question. How are men and women different? Where is the inequality? Conservatives love to say this. They love to ask this. And it's a very good question because legally we are extraordinarily similar. Women lead in education. It's an incentive to hire a lot of women for growing companies. We can buy land, we can divorce, and we can wear whatever we want without getting fined. So where are we just so different? Men don't fear walking alone at night.
Yes.
Men do not fear getting drugged at a party.
Erroneous.
Yes. Men don't fear getting taken advantage of by a woman.
Yes.
Men don't fear their bosses and coworkers crossing an inappropriate line.
Yes.
Men don't fear.
Yeah. Yes.
That's absolute
That.
bullshit.
Wrong.
That's absolute bullshit. First
Wrong.
off, the reality is when it comes to violent crime, men are much more likely to be victims of crime. Assault,
By who?
robbery.
By each other.
By
Ding
men.
dong. Yeah,
What?
but that's
Ding
society.
dong,
But that's
by
society.
men. Ding
You would have been
dong.
assaulted multiple times if you were a male for saying the things that you've said so brazenly.
Yeah, by
today.
other men. Ding dong.
That's not an argument.
That is
That's not an
Still
argument.
society.
Yeah, by men.
That's not an argument.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Then what is the argument?
She's saying
No, let her state the
Okay.
argument. What's the argument?
The reality is that it's a completely different reality when you're a woman versus when you're a man. And that
Okay, yeah, that's great. What's the argument?
the argument is that when you're walking home at night, men are not turning over their shoulder every 2
Yes,
seconds.
we
No,
are.
they're not.
From other men.
No,
yes,
you're
we
not.
are.
No, you're not.
Do you
I don't
know
walk
how
around
many
Chicago late
No,
at
you're
night
not.
with just
Literally.
No, you're not. Not like women. There's
Bro,
there's a
I've
different level
as
here.
somebody who has been physically assaulted,
yeah,
yes.
multiple times. So
No,
Yes.
not like
I have
women.
literally hung out with so many men that I'm like, we're just walking down the street and they're constantly like, what does
Keep
this do?
fucking men. They're not gonna ever respect.
Girl, you're the
you.
one that
Here's
wants
the
to fuck
reality.
Andrew. Like, don't
I
talk
don't
to
want
me
to
about
fuck
wanting to fuck
Andrew.
men.
I've been mugged multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been
that,
mugged?
I'm a man.
I've been
mugged
jumped.
in Detroit,
I've been
yeah.
jumped.
It was
I'm,
very scary.
I'm very situationally aware if I'm in
You
if
will
I'm
never
out in public.
experience
Do
the
you
fear
agree
that
that
women
men
have.
are scary?
What?
How do you justify and reconcile these two thoughts?
You feel
the first thought is the one that you said, which is 100% responsibility is on the woman for all these things to be preventable. And the
Yes.
second thought is, wait a second, we're far more likely to be A, B, and C. When
Yeah.
you just got done telling these other girls that it was 100% preventable, which is true?
So yes, it's 100% preventable, and we have to be like cognizant of the situation at hand, which is that men are dangerous and that they strike women at crazy rates, and that women, we are constantly scared of walking through a parking lot. Men, you do not have that
Whoa,
fear.
whoa, whoa. Let me just.
Everyone's been
I
victimized by the
have
same
to.
group.
I have to address the
Oh my
whole.
God, like, you guys are,
I have
like,
to. I have to
delusional.
address this whole thing about that men engage in DV at higher rates. First off, let me address that. Actually, they found that it's intra-partner violence. It's when it's non-reciprocal domestic violence, the rates are actually fairly equalized. Now, I have a question for you. How can it possibly be the case if men are these pervasive, violent thugs and bad guys, when we remove the heterosexual component of these conversations, lesbian couples are much more likely to have domestic incidents than gay men. So if we totally remove,
gay men don't really
hold on,
care. They're
hold on.
hedonistic.
Okay.
So are you.
Hold on. When we remove men from the equation and we look at lesbian relationships, the rate of violence in lesbian relationships is higher than in heterosexual relationships. And among gay men, the rate of domestic violence is the lowest among all other kind of relationship dynamics. So how could it possibly be when there's two men in the picture that the rate of domestic violence actually nosedives?
There's nothing wrong with a man hitting a woman or a man hitting a woman
answer
or
the
a woman
question.
hitting a man
Oh my.
Answer the question.
in a relationship. No,
There's nothing wrong with a man hitting a woman.
no,
What about a woman?
not if there's by circumstance it is deserved.
Andrew, I know you wanted to go in. I mean, I
Yeah,
just
if you don't mind, I just have kind of a set of inquiries here.
Yeah.
I'll be very brief as I can possibly be. I'd appreciate it if the gal would also be brief back so we can just get to the actual heart of the argument. So you just got done saying that it's okay for a man to smack a woman. Did I get that wrong?
That is
Yeah.
what she said.
Okay, so then why would you say that women are victimized if it's okay for men to smack them?
By strangers.
what?
By strangers?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. When women are being afraid of walking in the street, it's not by their domestic partner, it's by strangers in the street. That's who we're
Now, if men are more likely to be assaulted than women are out in the street, which that's what the data points set up,
Right.
then why is it that women are more afraid to walk down the street than men are?
because
At the same
men
size?
Men will never experience the fear that women do walking down the street. I just cannot.
You're not
believe
answering
this is,
my question.
I cannot believe this is like something that's like a shocking.
You're not even
thing.
answering my question. You're just
like you really
diverting
are
again.
gonna look at me and tell me that the fear that
I'm
you
not afraid
have
of
walking
women.
down the
I'm afraid of
street-
other men in society, and our society is full of dangerous people.
What they're trying
You
to
think because I'm not afraid of you that I don't live in your reality. I'm afraid of other people.
Okay, well, women are constantly.
I get
afraid
afraid,
of reality.
just like you get afraid.
No, not the same.
Wait.
Okay.
You
Why
can
are
cause
you
a
gonna
lot.
invalidate
You can cause a lot more
it's
damage
so
to me.
subjective because
What?
at the end of the day, what you're saying is that these men are not afraid. They're obviously afraid. They both
they're
have
not.
admitted that they've
Here.
had history with
No,
being
they're
either
not.
mugged or jumped. Yes, they're afraid.
No, they're not.
How are you
literally
gonna
saying it.
invalidate
You
their
can't invalidate
experience?
them.
Well, if I was walking down an alley, I might be. I'm not afraid now.
Who
I
are
hope
you
you're
to
not
say
afraid
that we're
now.
not?
Because I know you're not.
What are you talking about?
She's God. She
In
I'm not a
addition to-
UFC fighter.
In
I
addition
mean,
to
you should have a
that, they're-
conversation
Well,
with.
let me ask you a different-
Wait,
let me
let
ask
me
you a
just say
different
one thing. Let
question.
me just say one thing. You should have a conversation with Nick about all the things
Who's
that I
Nick?
do. He's my producer. About all the things I do when it comes to the security of even operating the studio and just me.
Any of us could have a gun right now, and you like.
Okay,
we-
well-
Well,
I'm
actually,
just
that brings in
like,
the
it's still
best
a fear
question
that
of all.
happens.
Yeah.
Why is it when concealed carry permits are available to both sexes that men overwhelmingly get them in comparison to women, even though women are supposedly so victimized by men? Wouldn't you think that you would see the reverse, that if women could have access to the equalizer of force because they're so often assaulted, that they would go out of their way to get those? Why do you think they don't?
Because women are not comfortable around guns because they're very scary, loud, and difficult to use.
Oh, because they don't know how to
A
use
similar
Correct.
statistic
What-
is the suicide statistic. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, no.
so back
Hold on.
to
Let me
this.
engage. Let me
You're
just.
saying that they're incompetent?
Yes.
I know what you were about to say.
You're saying that women are so incompetent
Yes.
that they have an equalization of force and they don't use it because they're incompetent.
Yes.
I mean,
Bro, this is insane.
so then men.
You're
who
gonna
are
look at me and tell me
competent-
that women know how to use a gun as much
Yeah,
as men
yes.
do?
Well, I'm asking you this kind of logical question. The second
I'm
part of the logical
answering.
question is to ask you, well, then men, if they're overwhelmingly getting them because they are competent, what is their motivation in getting a gun or
I think men have a
walking
really-
around with a concealed carry permit?
Men have a really freakish obsession with gun and holding power in their pocket.
Oh, so it's not because they can defend themselves. It's because, of course,
Sure, I'm
they
sure
just
that's
want
part
to
of it.
be powerful.
But a lot of men just
And when
like
the same
having a
option is
gun.
available to women to have the same amount of
Men
power, they don't because they're
love having a
incompetent. That's
gun.
your position.
Men love throwing that out and you going, I have a gun. They do.
Do you want to go back to? I mean, there's so many things that can be said about the whole. The violence thing, but I mean, if the perpetrator is a male, it doesn't.
Well, I just want to just to tie it off real quick, Brian. Only take a second. If you were in a threatening situation, would you call a number which would send men with guns to protect you?
She's a cop, punch her in the face, her.
Oh, yeah.
She punches cops in the face.
I
so
would
don't
rather
know.
not. I'd try not to get in that situation.
Yeah, but if you were in that situation, would you dial a number where men with guns would come to protect you?
They usually exasperate the situation.
So what would you do?
But
in this
there's
situation?
there's no
so
other option.
the answer is no,
unfortunately.
you wouldn't?
So you would
It's a very rarely the other option. There's no other option. What other option? are we
Right, so
able to
you
have?
would, right? So you would do
What
that.
other
You would
option
call
is
the
there?
number.
My boyfriend's
Yeah,
mad
so
at
you
me
would
that
call
I'm
the
not-
number for men with guns to come and protect you because you're so incompetent you couldn't protect yourself essentially with a gun is what you're saying.
Yeah, but I don't know how competent the people who are going to be arriving are themselves.
Yeah, but you would still dial the number so that they would come protect you from other men who would be trying to assault you, right? So
The
men, while
amount
they
of
may
times
be
that I have been in
the
a
people
scenario,
who
'cause I used
perpetrate
to live in New
more
York.
assault,
I lived in downtown
so,
Atlanta
hang on,
for
I'm
7
almost
years.
done.
Yeah,
so
go ahead,
men
keep
who may
talking.
be the perpetrators of assault on women, like you're talking about in alleys and things like this, are also the defenders of women in alleys and things like this as well, aren't they?
That's a good point.
I lost the train of thought. I'm like some brain dead.
Can I say something?
That does not surprise me a bit.
Yeah, I'm tired. It's been like 6 hours.
I think that I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with anyone right now.
Are you going to speak into the mic?
I'm sorry. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with anyone right now, but I think in general it's important to keep in mind that in this kind of podcast, it's sometimes easy to have an echo chamber where if one person is disagreeing with the rest of the people, we all knew what we were getting into. You know what I mean?
Wait, why
So-
are you?
Well, that's the whole dynamic of the podcast.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's worth acknowledging that sometimes that can happen. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it can happen in a situation like this.
I'm not really sure what you're talking about, but I mean, this whole... Are you saying that men are killed by other men, therefore that's not a problem? Is that your argument, basically?
No, men are the problem 1,000%.
Right, but if we say that men are victimized in these ways, and then you just say, yeah, by who? By other men. That's basic. You're dismissing male victims of violence. It's just, I don't know, bro. That's a fucking weird take.
No, I'm just maintaining that women's fear is different than men.
Yeah, but would a man be less dead if they were killed by a woman?
I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking about women's fear of men.
Okay.
You're not fearing going in the parking lot when you go park your car.
Yes.
You're not
No,
fearing-
yes, I do.
No, you're not.
We're not afraid of you.
You're not gonna.
Stats show different. The stats show.
No, you're
that,
not.
Yes.
You can't.
Clearly
You're not
are
peering
because
around
the
the
rates.
corner.
Yes,
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
No, you're not. No,
Yes,
you're not.
we do.
No, you're not.
What am I?
Okay.
You're a crazy
How-
person.
You don't.
Great
You
argument.
don't
No,
know
you're
me.
not. No, you're
That's
not.
fine.
That's
You
a great
don't
argument.
know me. You don't know Jeff.
Let's
Like,
not look at the victims because the victims is everyone. Let's look at the victimizers.
I think you're seeing it as
What?
like male female. You're thinking that like because you're a woman, you're the only one that has fears. I don't go. I bet
The
there's
fears
a band,
are not
I bet there's a
equivalent.
gang of women that might get me if I turn
No,
the corner.
there's not.
No, I'm saying I'm afraid of other bad people.
Other
We
men.
all are afraid.
Other
Yes,
men.
yes, that's the whole point. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Cam.
Yes.
Right.
So you agree?
Well,
Yeah, that
well, it's
men
not
are.
just
We
that.
are looking
Yeah.
over our shoulder at
Not
other
like
people.
men. Not.
we should
it's
talk
not the
about how
same.
80% of criminals come from single mother households. So maybe it's really all
Yeah,
women's
because
fault.
men leave.
What?
Because men leave
Wait,
the
you're a
household.
formal criminal. Like, what's your family dynamic? Because you're so interested in everybody else's.
Yeah, I'm 100%. I'm again like I'm open book.
Okay, so what's your family dynamic?
I am born in Ukraine, and I have a
Here,
family that
let's
was
go
divorced
back
when I was young.
to Andrew. I know you had a string of
Yeah,
questions
so
related.
just to-
well, moving off from the violence thing to her claim that all men are p words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your proof?
This entire conversation, you guys
Oh,
are
great. So you have
battling.
proof?
You're the only one
Do
who
you
brought
have
up
proof?
15-year-olds.
No, and
What's
none
your
of you would
proof?
answer it.
We did.
All right, we all said no.
What's your? Hang on.
Yeah,
quickly.
you're lying.
It's loading, guys.
Would you?
What's your proof?
No.
Okay, you're
Can you
lying.
tell me? Hang
Like,
on, just
what?
real quick. Just let me finish the exchange, please. What's your evidence for this?
I'm saying that if I presented you a scenario, that if you had the full ability with
It's not
no
evidence.
one knowing,
It's a question.
sure.
Yeah.
But I know
That's
for
yeah.
a
So the
fact
question's not an
the
argument.
vast
She knows
majority
for a
of
fact.
men.
But
I
she
do.
just
The
said that she
vast
also
majority
wouldn't
of
do
men.
it.
The vast majority, because it's different. Men and women are different.
So
I'm so
bad
sorry to
faith.
tell you, girl.
Right. And
So
it'd be like if I
bad
just said to you, like, you don't know what it's like to be a man.
You don't.
Right.
Well, hang on. All of you guys. Just let me finish the exchange with her. It'll only take a second. What's the argument for the proofs that you can provide that all men are P words?
Because men are, you keep.
Yeah, you just
this
that's a
entire
restatement. That's just a
conversation-
restatement of the position.
Andrew, this entire conversation, have you guys been focusing on fertility and women being innocent and malleable without a history?
Why
okay?
is that? and
Just
what does
call
that have to do
yourself,
at all?
say that you
What-
want to
hang on.
have a fresh
Hang on.
meat.
What to do with
say
anything?
it. Just say it. You like young girls. All of you like little girls. Andrew, yes you do.
No. Listen to you. You say that you all like young girls and little girls. So let me ask the question back to
Yes.
you. Why is it that in the public school system, so many women are having sex with underage boys?
Not like men or women.
No, it's an epidemic of
I don't know if I
almost
can say that,
biblical
sorry.
proportions. Why is that happening? Is that because all women are P words?
Repeat the question.
Why is there such an epidemic, an overwhelming epidemic of women inside of the school system having sex with underage boys, sometimes as young as 13, 12 years old, in order to get their rocks off? Why is it when they're in a position of power and authority over young men, they essay them constantly? What is that because all of them are P words?
That's a really great question because I'm always also wondering that with men and young girls.
It's
constantly.
power of authority, exactly is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
so my question is, again,
Okay.
is it because all women are P words or isn't it?
It's because if you're in a power of authority, if you have a place of authority, you're going to do it. That's what you're saying. Women do it.
No,
men
that's not
do
what
it.
I'm saying. I'm asking you to answer my question. Don't reframe my argument. Just answer to the argument.
What's your question?
He's asking her a question, I'm pretty sure,
Say it
right?
again. I'm like,
What is the
Just
reason?
answer to the argument. Is the reason that so much SA happens in schools from female teachers to young boys because all women are P words?
no, but men are.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna answer.
Right, so
for
what's
you.
your evidence then? I just gave you a huge swath
let
of
him finish,
evidence.
let him
Because
for women.
it is in
What's your
men.
evidence for
It is
men?
in men DNA to want to conquer and dominate. And what is easy to conquer and dominate? Young girls.
Okay, so
What
what's
the
Erroneous.
Can I answer?
Not
what is
wrong.
your evidence for any of this?
Literally every crime committed with a man, a girl. Literally the women that are sitting
There's
at
that
the table
radical
with
feminism she was talking
Yeah,
about.
where's
go.
the actual evidence for what you're saying is
Of
true?
what? Men of men.
She thinks
young
all
girls?
men are pedophiles.
No, that all men are P words because some men do horrible
doesn't.
things. What's the
She
evidence
literally-
all men are
what?
P words? What is it?
She
Make a
literally-
quick point,
She
please.
literally was the one to tell us that there are more women who are now teaching because of certain gender roles. I believe that was actually you. So that is
What
why
is
there's
it?
Please make your point
so
quick.
that is why there's a higher epidemic with women doing these things to young boys. That is why. But you're not even able to repeat that statement, so you are literally making no fucking sense. If you use your own knowledge and your own reasoning, then you would make sense, and this would no longer be an argument.
I don't know what you.
I don't
were
even.
saying.
I still don't understand what the argument was.
Let me ask
either.
a
I don't know
let me
what the
ask a
argument
couple.
was
Hold on.
either.
Let me
I'm
ask a
confused.
couple clarifying questions.
Yeah.
So, is it genuinely your position that you think that all men are?
I think the vast majority, yes, innately, yes. Biologically, yes. I think that if they were granted the opportunity to get away with having sex with a 15-year-old girl with no repercussions, they would do it. Yes.
What's the evidence for that?
Like, where'd you even come
You
up
don't.
with
You
this
have no
scenario?
evidence for this.
This entire conversation has been.
Yeah,
evidence.
so that's not an argument.
entire
That's an argument from
conversation- what?
incredulity. It's fallacious. What's the evidence that I can look at right now that proves your point?
What are you even talking? Look at.
I'm talking about evidence.
Well, hold on.
Do you have any or not?
Yeah. So let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein's island. Perfect example right there.
So if that's some men do
such
bad
that's
things,
an
therefore
That is
all men do all
men.
bad things.
That is a bunch
is-
of elite men. You don't see women going over the little boys. It's a bunch of men.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Can you ever sit
Example
down?
after example of
Can
how
you
that
ever sit
occurs.
down?
It's a bunch
please.
of men going to Lolita's Island or going on Lolita Express, going to St. James, and it's men
Who
fucking young
recruited
girls.
for Epstein? Was it a woman who recruited for Epstein?
Yes.
They worked in tandem. Her father
Yeah,
was
so
the
why
her
would a woman-
father.
why
Her
would a woman be
father
helping him
her
do that?
father.
She
If
was
you
also
actually
a
knew
P-word,
about
right?
them, you would know that her father was a Fed, and he's the one who created the whole thing. Jeffrey got involved with it later.
Okay.
Okay, so on the
Bad
Ghislaine
people
Maxwell, can you answer to why it was that Ghislaine Maxwell was recruiting for this P-word island if she wasn't a party to it as well?
They're both working in tandem.
Right, so this is not evidence.
But who's
that all men are
fucking?
P-words and you're an idiot.
Who's doing the? It's
well,
not the
I
women.
would say that the women inside the public
It's not
school
the
system tend to do
women,
a
Andrew.
whole lot
It's
of
not
that.
the
Wouldn't you
women.
agree?
It's not the women. It's not the women
Well,
coming
then
to
why
St.
is there
James.
so many teachers
Women
getting
are
arrested
not.
for,
Answer
you
the
know,
question.
essaying
Why
little
is there
boys?
so many men flying to St. James Island? Why isn't it women going to
Men
little boys?
suck.
I mean,
But they're not all men.
All
They're
those
not
women
normal.
who were recruited by another woman.
Blah blah. God, you're not even answering the question. You're like
Yeah. I
harping
did.
on one very specific thing.
You brought up the specific thing.
Yeah, and you keep talking about Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, but that's
Who
because
is the
the
kids?
recruitment agent for the P word.
Who is
she
having
was
sex
also
with
a P word.
children?
She
It's
participated
not
in
women.
this.
It's
so
not
this is
women.
not evidence that all
Women
men
aren't
are
driving
P
to
words.
St. James.
It's ridiculous.
It's not happening.
So your position is you think the majority of men are P words.
Yeah.
Said all, but yeah.
Biologically,
And
innately, yes.
From what I could tell, you think me and Jeff are also P words? Is that what you're? That's basically what you said.
There are outliers, and I hope you are one of them.
But you just said if I there's some
Andrew, do
crazy
you have
situation.
like a smoking gun on this? Because
This is very simple. I've already given the smoking gun. I see more SA coming out of the public school system between females who have a
Lie.
power differential between young boys. They
I'm not
massive,
gonna-
monstrous rates. It's incredible. Two, You've offered no counter evidence.
I have. I
that
literally just
men,
about St. James
that the
Island.
majority. Hang on. Let me finish. You have not offered a single shred of evidence that the majority of men in society are P words. Can you offer that evidence without restating the position and saying because of this conversation? Give me the evidence.
Yeah, I just told you St. James Island, Hollywood. Hello.
That's not evidence that
Yes,
most men are
it
P
is.
words.
How is that? There is nothing of a better
my God,
evidence
bro.
in St. James Island.
Because
I
the thing
don't
happened
fucking
doesn't
get
make it an
Is that
argument.
evidence that most
How
men
is that
are
not
P words
evidence?
because
Tell me how
some
that's
men
not
do bad
fucking
things?
evidence.
How's that mean most men do bad things?
Yo. So you were trying to make the point, which incredibly bad faith, like trying to ask us a question to try to, because like super bad faith. You've been bad faith this entire show. I think you're intentionally trolling now. You like chilled out for a little bit, but now you're back to troll. I don't even think it's trolling. I just actually think you're a misandrist and you hate men, frankly, because holding the position that most or all men are is an incredibly sexist statement to make. It's incredibly misandrist. You're pathologizing. First off, you're attempting to pathologize men who have a preference for younger women. Keyword women.
Fresh meat, malleable, young pussy.
All right, get off the show. Get the fuck off the show. Leave.
This is Sparta!
Get off the show.
Thank God.
Out you go.
So much.
Out you go.
Thank God.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. Ridiculous. Bro.
Also, one of the comments said that because we like fertility cuteness argument was small. Yeah, I meant smaller than me. I don't want a gal that's 6'4" is what I was suggesting. Antana Bay. I think it's kind of cute when a woman's not 6'4", 220. And thank you for doing that. She was terrible.
Here.
Wow.
She was too much.
Wait, Mia, do you want to just sit over there in her seat? You might want to wipe it. You may want to wipe it down with some sort of
seriously.
antiseptic wipe.
Can you sage that chair?
Yeah, I'm like.
No, I really want to stage myself.
Yeah, switch the cushion.
Very unusual.
Jesus Christ.
I won't
Oh my
deny.
God, I was just like boiling.
And
I was like, girl.
Instantly, it's just the whole room is just like.
I'm just gonna say, like, I think it's really interesting that she was putting so many words into everybody else's mouths. I don't think it was fair or reasonable at all. The way that she was behaving and putting everybody else down and trying to paint a picture that wasn't even existent. Had you said anything about dating XYZ, or had any of us said anything at all, then that was a reason to attack us and to go forward on that. But she did just completely attack just for no reason.
It would also be great if she was a little consistent. But just to be all over, like you can't even say that she doubled down on like what she thought. It was just like all over the place. Like at one point saying leave the 19-year-old and she's only 19, and then the next point be like she's 19. She's like what's going on here?
She was when I wasn't in the room, I couldn't hear everything that was happening. But like someone commented too. They were like she's evangelizing her, and then in the same breath doing the opposite.
Right. What had happened was like you walked out, she chased after you, trying to be a nice guy, whatever it may be. And I said it. She's 19. I didn't say it to put you down by any means.
Wait, what are we talking about?
The situation that happened when she was crying.
When she cried.
Crazy.
And I only said it because I thought it was such a rhetorical thing. To chase after you, try to treat you nicely, and say that we're using that to our advantages and putting you down because you're younger, which we were not doing. And even at that, it was just like we're repeatedly saying she's 19, which was obviously her issue. She had an issue that your age was 19, which is not fair. And it's just
the only one who ever brought it up.
It's what's crazy to me though is when men are basically not allowed to have any preferences, standards, and boundaries when it comes to what they want in a partner. If a girl wants an older guy, that's a preference. Guy wants younger, creepy, immature. Maybe even if you want a younger woman, even if you want to date a younger adult woman, they want to call you a P word, a pedo.
Which is crazy.
Girl doesn't want a short guy, preference. Guy doesn't want an overweight girl, shallow, asshole. Girl wants a dominant guy, preference. Guy wants a submissive woman, misogyny. Girl sets a boundary, empowering. Guy sets a boundary, controlling.
Yeah.
It's just like, but it's the degree that she took it to was like pathologizing. She basically called us. I don't know if she was talking about you, but she pretty much sat there and called
She definitely did.
She did.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
A pedo.
She said, and then she said we're lying because we were like, no, we wouldn't do that. And she's like, you're lying. You both would.
But
You
even
all
though
would."
she also said that she wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like-
Then she said you can hit women. She was all over the
That
map.
was-
Oh, that was
She was all
like,
over the
girl.
map. She was a psycho.
But what was weird was she started off with that energy, and I checked her, and then she kind of got in check. And then, like, I don't know if the meds were wearing off or whatever, but it started amping up again at the end there. So, like, what the fuck?
I think what was interesting was just like seeing how she immediately was like, fuck Andrew, I love you, Andrew. And then immediately, like, for
She's
a long time
bipolar.
it stayed there.
Andrew's not in the room.
He's not
It's
in the
very
room.
easy for her to
and
do
then
that.
from there
That's
it
what
went
she did.
to Andrew, you'd fuck XYZ. And that's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, stay consistent or just don't speak at all.
She's like, if I get the guy that's not in the room on my side.
I think you actually kind of agreed with her, though.
On some things, a little bit. I think that she was phrasing things in a way to purposely sound fucking insane. But I think the root of some of her, very few, but some of her opinions were rooted in something that I believe in too. But the things that she said, the generalizations she made, all of that I think was wrong. And I mean, I said what I said, and I want you to listen to what I said, and that's my opinion. I don't want you to hear her and hear me build onto something she said and think that's me.
Yeah. I will also, like, so just speaking back to the subject that she left on, just like another thing, like as a guy, I like to date age appropriate women, like women generally my age, is kind of my wheelhouse. However, that's tough because there are not a lot of available women my age. And if they are, they've got children, and that makes the little things more complicated because it'd be unrealistic for me to think I could get a 40-year-old woman that doesn't have past relationships and have, so like you would tend to date a little younger because the younger chicks don't have something started yet. They don't have a family.
Right.
They don't have so it's like the young girls are available.
Like you want to start a family with someone and have it your own family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fair. Yeah.
Or like I've met girls that I really, this is not good to sound good, but they're like, they're I was like, I would date this woman and she's married.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I can't. But that's a great gal. I want a woman like that.
Yeah.
But I just can't because she's got a guy.
Free Peter in the chat. boys.
Free
Hashtag free.
I don't believe anything she said, dude.
No, I don't. It's all over the place.
I bet she doesn't have a boyfriend. I bet she'd be pretty annoyed if someone slapped her in a relationship.
Oh, we got Dave on.
Devon Jackson donated $200. I take back what I said, autistic sociopath. Pedo means attraction to prepubescent children. The law allots for years post-puberty just to play it safe, i.e. nobody looks at the 19 years old plus sees a child.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, like,
Thanks,
the law
Devin.
was put there for a reason.
And
Like,
different
it's
countries
not
have different
just-
laws.
Of course.
It's fine.
Bro, that's crazy, dude.
Did she ever define the word?
No.
There's another issue.
Well,
guys
she
could have
didn't
been
really want
talking
to
about
answer
completely
any
different things.
questions.
Andrew,
She just kind of avoided questions.
Andrew, do you know what, like, is there a specific fallacy when it's like you're asking somebody a question and then regardless of their answer, you just assume they're either lying about their answer to the question or you just pre-assume what their answer to the question is? Is that like does that have a name? Because she did that multiple times. She's like,
narcissism.
She's like, no, you met, like when we said, no, we've been assaulted. Like we are cautious when we're going out at night.
It's just a basic straw man fallacy. So what she did was she would say, here's what your argument actually is, and then argue against that. What I was trying to do is get as much clarification as I could, nail down the actual argument. And when I make arguments, they're actual arguments. What she made was kind of these fallacious claims, and then she actually never made any counter arguments. If you listen closely, she would just restate the position as the position itself being bad, right? That's all she did. So there was no argument to even be fallacious for the most part because she never made any.
Right. Got it. Here, let me do a couple chats, and if we want, we can continue on with this. Dr. Clockwork, you're talking about